that time comes, a fountain will be opened to purify the descendants of David and the people of Jerusalem from their sin and idolatry. At that time, I will remove the names of the idols from the land, and no one will remember them anymore. Still insists on prophesying his far, and mother will tell him that he must be put to death, because he claims Zechariah chapter 13. Then Jerusalem will be looted, and the loot will be divided up before your eyes. The Lord will bring all the nations together to make war on Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the women raped. The people will go into exile, but the rest of them will not be taken away from the city. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1 to 21. And the book with God's judgments, which we must take seriously. And here we have some moral lessons. But before that, I would like to hand the mic over to our seminarians if you have any contribution.
Thank you, Speaker, for reflecting on the book of the prophet Zechariah. Zechariah was one of the last books in the Old Testament, second to the last. So we see that Zechariah gives us a message of hope. And in giving these people hope, he also admonishes and encourages these people to heed to the ways of God. You see where we are told that all these things, the prophecies of Zechariah and the visions, will not come to actualization or realization if we do not follow the commandments and dictates of God. We must try as much as possible, no matter what we do, to heed to the commandments of God. God telling us to build his house is not saying we should go against his commandments. It's not saying we should go against his ways to get materials and resources to build the house of God. But whatever we do, in truth and sincerity of heart, we must endeavor to that it is in accordance with the way of God. So see that Zechariah also gives us a vision of the prophet of Joshua, the priest of God, and how the devil was sent to tempt him. But again, we must know that God uses us as individuals to convey his message to the people. So we must know again and we must learn that the message that God brings to us, irrespective of whoever the person is God's message. Whatever the situation or the character of the particular individual does not matter. All we are told to do is to adhere to God's message. So whether the person is a criminal or whoever he is, whatsoever, we must focus our attention, must direct our attention to the message of God. As we haven't taught in the Catholic Church that the sacraments we celebrate, the character of the priest does not inhibit the effect of the sacraments. So we must, as much as possible, try to know these things and reflect on them. The speaker gave us a breakdown of the book of the prophet Zechariah, and he tried as much as possible to summarize each chapter in its simplest form. So all we have to do, we must not just dwell only on this reflection, but we must go back to our own private homes, to our rooms, and again we reflect on this book of the prophet Zechariah. We also see that this message also speaks to our leaders in our world today, both religious, economic, and leaders in all aspects and spheres of life, that we must try as much as possible to lead the people aright, and we must, whatever we do, we must convey as we try to carry out our various responsibilities and duties. we must carry them out in a just and a fair way. We must put the mercy of God in everything that we do. So we thank God for this book of the prophet Zechariah, but I must admonish and encourage each and every one of us to go and reflect more on this book or the prophet Zechariah. I must know that reflecting on the books of the Bible is not something that we do hastily. It's not something that we rush to do. It's not something that we do haphazardly. But we must take time. We must study these books meditatively and prayerfully so that we will be able to get the message that these books and writers try to pass to us. So I will now leave the speaker to give us the moral lessons of the book of Zechariah.
Thank you very much, Seminary, for that wonderful contribution. We now move to our moral lessons. God called his people to return to him. We are also called to turn from our evil ways